Good morning, everyone. I'm Olivia Rios, Director of Operations and Programs at the Los Angeles Latino Chamber of Commerce, and I welcome you to today's webinar for a topic that's important to most small businesses, state procurement with the Department of General Services. The Department of General Services serves as the business manager of the state with nearly 4,000 employees and a budget of $1.3 billion. DGS is a state government agency in the state of California Government's Operation Agency of the executive branch of the government of California. There are only 10 entities under the California Government Operation Agency. They are made up of 25 offices and divisions. Our guest today is Darvin Manuel, who has served as a business outreach liaison for the OSDS almost 6 years. In his role, he educates and advises targeted business groups on applying for contracts and working with state agencies. I'd like to give you 3 reasons why you should stay tuned. One is that the DGS is the largest purchaser of products and services in the state of California. They have a user-friendly online portal where you can solicit opportunities. And 3, they have a statewide supplier diversity program to help small businesses gain opportunities and contracts. But before we begin, I'd like to share that this session is being recorded. Questions will be answered at the end of the session, and the recording will be available by tomorrow, Friday evening. So on that note, I'd like to welcome Darvin. Hello, Darvin, and thank you for being with us today.
Absolutely. Hi, Olivia. Well, first off, thank you so much for inviting us in this webinar. We really appreciate the platform, and so we can talk about the state agency program. Today, I wanted to go over how to do business with California state government. This webinar or this workshop is an introductory session just to give you an idea of exactly what you need to do to prepare yourself to do business with the state of California. And I'm going to be going over like some topics to discuss. And Olivia and Carlos and Belinda, if you could help me out with just some of the questions that might show up on chat, feel free to send your questions out. I wanted to get a feel first of how many of you are actually certified with the state of California. I know there's so many different certifications out there. There's federal certifications, there's, city, and this one is just for the California state government. So if you could share in the chat if you're certified, if you're not yet certified, if you're familiar with the DVBE, that's the Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise Certification or not, share that with us so I could get a feel of, what the audience is that's tuning in with us today. All right, as Olivia has mentioned, my name is Darvin Manuel, Business Outreach Liaison. You might be wondering, well, why DGS? Well, DGS is the oversight department for this small business and DVBE program. So basically, my role with DGS is to help educate, train, and to advocate for this program, to let you know that there is an opportunity for you to do business with the state of California. I wanted to kind of set the standard here and let you know what we're going to be discussing. Some of this might be familiar to you already, some may not, but we're going to go over it anyway. And then, and at the same time, I don't want you to be overwhelmed with all the information that I'll be sharing, because doing business with the state can be a process, right? And so you need to really understand the difference on how public and private entities do contracts. And for the state, as many of you may already know, it's a bidding process, right? So just before I get started, Olivia or Carlos, did you see on the chat what our attendees are looking for as far as a certification? Do we have any certified small businesses
Yes,
already?
this is Olivia. So we have a couple, it's kind of like 50-50. Some are yes, some not yet. James shared that he was certified for a few years, but it has expired because didn't lead to much.
Right.
Someone said not yet with DGS. Someone else responded, no, however, we were vendors specialized by the regional center. So I guess during your conversation, you'll share about the different forms of certifications and the different
Absolutely.
platforms that folks can go into,
Right.
from our perspective, from the chamber perspective, there's a lot of certifications out there, but there's one that's more meaningful where you can catch a wider net of opportunities,
Absolutely.
and DGS happens to be it, right?
Right. Absolutely. Did we have any veterans in the
I didn't see
webinar?
any veterans in here, but I'm sure if you are a veteran, if you can please let us know so we could keep tabs on
Yeah.
participants. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Olivia. The reason I bring it up is because we have a disabled veteran program also. And, some of you may not be eligible for it, but you may know someone within the small business community that can make use of this. So I'd like to share it anyway. So as Olivia mentioned, the state as a whole and each department agency has a goal, right? Our goal is to spend 25% of all contract dollars with small businesses and 3% of that towards disabled veteran businesses. That's referred to as DVBE. So what that means for you is that the state is spending. They're spending to help small businesses, right? So this figure right here is the figures we have for 2020 and 2021. We don't have the most recent yet, but we expect that it's going to be fairly comparable. The state has spent $3 billion with small businesses and over $500 million with DVBE. This is the largest amount of money since I've been here ever going to those businesses in this history of our program. It's a lot of money. That means there's a lot of opportunities available for you. So the next thing I wanted to go over is the different types of certification the state offers, right? So there is what we call the small business certification, and then there is the small business for the purpose of public works, and then there's also disabled veteran business enterprise. So you may be qualified for all three, or you may just be qualified for one or two of these. So I'm going to show you first exactly why you would want to get certified if you haven't already, or if you have and you're contemplating whether this will work out for you and you want to renew your certification. I'll give you some reasons for that also. The 5% bid preference and DVBE incentive gives your business an advantage when bidding against non-certified businesses. So by being certified, you have access to contracts that are exclusive to certified businesses through the small business and DVBE option procurement process, which is for contracts that are 5,000 to 250,000. So what that means is that if you're not certified, you are automatically excluded from those contract opportunities, even though you meet those qualifications, right? So that's one reason you should do it. Also, there are different methods that the state uses as far as their procurement. And what they're saying is that we're only going to open this up for small businesses and or DVBE as an option. So you're only competing with other small businesses. As a certified small business, you get the benefits of the Prompt Payment Act, giving you a higher interest penalty for any late or undisputed invoice payment. So if the state is late in paying you, there is that advantage also to getting a interest on the penalties. Another benefit is that your certification is valid with various cities, counties, and local and utilities that accept and recognize our certification. We refer to these entities as our reciprocity partners. So you'll notice that there's like cities or counties that you'd like to do business with aside from state government. Well, you don't have to qualify for an additional certification. Now, their procurement process may be different or their protocols may be different from the state. So you're going to want to be familiar with that. But what I'm trying to say is that you don't have to go to another process to get qualified for it. They may accept our certification, so you don't have to do any extra work. And finally, another benefit is when you're working with prime contractors, you could be a subcontractor, and the prime gets the benefits of your certification. That's basically what's in it for a prime, right? They're gonna have you as a subcontracting, making you a desirable subcontractor because you're already certified. All right, so those were the benefits. The requirements, as you see on the screen, fairly easy, independently owned, operated. Main thing is that you have 100 or fewer employees and that you are located in California. Your gross annual receipts is less than 16 million. And if you're a manufacturer, it's 100 or fewer employees. As far as the requirement is concerned. Now, I told you there was small business, right? Certification. And then there's also the small business for public works eligibility. So before I move forward, just want to reiterate, with the small business program, that works for public works types of industries too, okay? As long as you have 100 or fewer. This next certification that I bring up is the small business for public works eligibility requirements. Difference here is that you have 200 or fewer employees. So you don't necessarily need to get this certification if you still fit within the small business 100 or less. This is for businesses that do public works that's gone over that 100 employee threshold, and that you've gone over the 37 million for your gross annual receipts, or 16 million, I'm sorry, but you're still under 37 million. So to kind of put into perspective, you graduated from that small business certification. Now you need to get one of these public works certification just so you could still take advantage of the program. And that's only for public works eligibility. Hope that makes sense, but just to reiterate, you don't need both when it comes to small business or small business for the purpose of public works. You get the same benefits. And then the small business is for everything, including public works. And the small business for the purpose of public works is only for public works. So I don't want you to, I know you're a busy small business, and I don't want you to keep doing all these certifications thinking that it's necessary for you. Okay. Now, just real quick, eligibility for DVBEs. This is for disabled veterans. That is a veteran of the U.S. Armed Forces with a service-connected disability of at least 10%. This disability status is determined by the federal government, not with the state. So DVBE, to qualify for this, is a business that is 51% owned by disabled veterans, owned by one or more disabled veterans. For LLCs or limited liability companies, the business must be 100% owned by disabled veterans. So again, this is a California-based program certification. This is to help small businesses in California, and our economy in California. So the disabled veteran owners must live in California. The owners that are not disabled veterans can live anywhere. That's the difference. The daily management and operations of the business must be done by disabled veterans, though it does not have to be the disabled veteran who owns the business. And finally, wanted to mention that the business must be headquartered in the U.S. The business cannot be a branch or subsidiary of a foreign corporation, a foreign firm, or other foreign-based businesses. So, if you have any questions in regards to requirements, eligibility, you can look that up on caliprocure.ca.gov. I'll share that on the screen. Also, Olivia and her team, they're gonna have a copy of this PDF presentation that they could send to you. Not sure if that's something you plan on doing, Olivia, but I will make it available for you. And then any questions pertaining to any of the certifications right now?
Let me go through the chat real quickly. We did have a few folks who did respond to being a veteran, Gregory
Perfect.
Santana, as well as McLean Group.
Yeah.
Nothing,
Oh.
no.
That's great to hear. Like I said, we actually have a team that handles the certification process. We refer to them as our certification officers. So any questions in regards to eligibility, we can help answer that for you. And so I'm going to go right to our Cali Procure system. This is our one-stop shop. If you're not familiar with Cali Procure, I need you to make this part of your favorite on your computer or your laptop, right? This is where you're going to do the bulk of your research and your certification if you haven't done so, your marketing, things like that. All right, so again, caliprocure.ca.gov, and then these are the type of things that you can do. First, you could register your business. After you've registered, you've decided, hey, I want to get certified, I want to do business with the state. This is where you would apply for certification. You'd be able to find all the solicitations here. You could receive notifications from all the state departments that are bidding, having suppliers bid, small businesses like yourself and non-small businesses. You would appear in searches by state buyers. So remember, I mentioned earlier, right? Like the state has participation goals that they're trying to meet. These are not just like requests, these are mandated. It's in law. So they have to meet these requirements. You can post ads seeking prime or subcontracting on Cali Procure, but for me, it's going to be important for you to get in touch with organizations like the LA Latino Chamber, right? Like the nonprofit organizations that help small businesses to attend events that you're going to be able to meet potential buyers or advocates with the state. So you could do all the research you want, but if they can't put a face to the business, it's hard to really establish that trust, right? That trust that, hey, the small business can do the job. Access to public procurement information is going to be there. You could get training and resources. Like what we're doing right now, you'll be able to see other trainings that are available and resources from Cali Procure. And again, there's no cost to this. I've seen some entities try to reach out to, everyone's trying to make money, right? They wanted to get you to pay a cost to do some legwork for you on identifying opportunities with the state. But what I'm trying to say is there's nonprofit organizations out there that are trying to help you with little to no cost already, right? For us as employees that are advocates for this program, you don't have to pay us. Well, technically you're paying taxes, so this is your opportunity to take advantage of that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. If you haven't visited Cali Procure, I suggest you at least visit our website, right? You've gone this far, you're listening to me talk. So this is how that landing page works. Once you log in, you're going to see this. So just a quick rundown, the area that you see, that's where you could log in and register your business. And then from there, once you click that login, it's going to ask you whether you are a, excuse me real quick, it's hard for me to see my own screen here, a new bidder or an existing supplier registration. So if you're a new bidder, you just click to the left. If you already have your information, you're registered, you're an existing supplier, you could go to the right of that box. Okay, before I move further, I wanted to touch on the subject, right? This is what we refer to as the supplier diversity information. And the reason I bring this up and why it's important to us is back in 2022, the DGS started collecting voluntary diversity data information from certified businesses, currently registered, and for new businesses. So within the Cali Procure profile. So this is voluntary diversity data as part of our commitment to California's support for diversity, for equity and inclusion in state procurement. We recommend that all businesses, when registering with the state, to complete this diversity data. It helps us enable the effectiveness of our state's outreach programs and provide a better understanding of where targeted outreach efforts need to be established. So the goal is to ensure California's supplier base is reflective of our diverse state. So again, it's voluntary. You can change, remove it at any time directly in your profile on Cali Procure. This, by registering, does not grant a contracting preference. It does not affect your contracting efforts or opportunities. This information is displayed publicly on your certification profile if you decide to get certified. So for more information, on the bottom of that slide, you'll see that the supplier diversity program info, okay? I'll walk you through it real quick. Again, landing page. You're gonna see on my slides, I'm showing you how this looks, how to navigate through it, because it's gonna be important for you to learn where all your resources are. Back to login. Sorry, hang on one second, okay? Okay. Once you log in, you put in your information. And once you're registered, you can come back to the Cali Procure homepage and you'll see this is your work center right here. Your work center is the snapshot of all your information. So you need to make sure that your information is current. And this is where you see your user ID, bidder or supplier ID, contact information, your certification number once you're certified. These are where you could make edits and for you to get started and to apply for certification. Okay, so from here, you just click on Get Certified, apply or reapply. Heard Olivia mention there's some that are considering on reapplying because their certification has lapsed. Your certification is good for 2 years. So usually they'll send you a notification to let you know, hey, it's time for you to recertify. But it's going to be important for you to keep up with that and to have the correct email address also. Okay. Um, okay, so I wanted to talk to you about this notion of keywords and what that means to you as a buyer. Keywords describes the goods and the services that you provide. So it allows for buyers to find businesses, and you can change this and edit at any time. You could add more, take less, because you don't want to keep receiving information. So some of the tips that I would recommend when it's time for you to apply your keywords is to make it individual words, right? Not full-on sentences, because it's not going to take when you apply your keywords. Make it singular and plural. Make them common words, and depending on your business, use technical jargon. You want these words to be broad words and specific words. Use synonyms. So for instance, garbage, trash, waste. Use those same type of words. Multi-word keywords are also appropriate for IT type of words, and copy your keywords from your competitors. And I'll show you how to create your own little cheat code, right? So the purpose of these keywords is basically you're putting in information on there to match the buyers that are sending out notifications. So if your keywords doesn't match the buyers, you may not receive that information that you're eligible to compete for these contracts. So the reason why I say copy from your competitors is because you don't have to reinvent the wheel. That information is already locked. They've already had some success with the state. All you're doing is taking public information that's on Cali Procure to match the keywords that they're using, right? And you could add on to it if need be. So that's keywords, right? I wanted to give another example for UNSPSC. If you're not familiar with UNSPSC, it stands for United Nations Standard Products and Services Code. It's an 8-digit number. In a written description, it identifies the type of good or service, not the industry, like in the NICS codes that some of you may be familiar with. Each code is part of a hierarchy of 4 levels, as you see in the slide. Each level is determined with 2, 4, or 8 digits, with the remaining digits as 0. So the goods and services identified here by the code become more specific the lower the levels, right? So understanding the hierarchy empowers you as a business to find relevant related codes that can appear for state buyers looking for you. If a business finds the level 4 code and they understand how the hierarchy works, then you can figure out that that you should be looking at the level code or level 2 code and any other codes that fall under it. I'm not a buyer myself. I work with a lot of advocates and buyers, and I've been told from experience that a lot of buyers look for level 3 or 4 codes that are a little more specific, okay? But again, use the cheat code, right? Talk to these potential buyers or advocates. Create that rapport, and I'll show you how to do that in a little bit in our presentation also, on who you need to get in contact with. Any quick questions on that topic for me, Olivia?
Where can they get started on the certification portal?
Oh, from the Cali Procure portal.
Mhm.
Let's go back. Sorry, guys, take you back here real quick. So from this landing page, right, you would just it says apply for certification. You could just click right there.
Okay.
But there's different ways to navigate through it. It's I'll see if I could maybe show you exactly where to go. If you wanna send me an email, I'll walk you right through it. Or remember, at the end of this presentation, I'll show you how you could actually conduct a meeting with one of our staff members that could walk you to specific types, depending on where you're at. If you're just looking to get registered, if you're looking to market your business, if you've had some success but you want to get more info, we have the staff to help identify those for you.
Yeah, and that was one of the questions on here. Is there a specific contact I can reach out to? So the answer
Absolutely.
is yes, and Darvin will share that towards the end. Does
No worries.
DGS use a NICS code, Mike?
For the most part, we use UNSPSC code, but there are some departments that use NICS code, like Caltrans, because they get federal funding. But for the most part, it's UNSPSC code.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so next question, can we come to the office and get help to apply for the contracts and certifications? And I'll respond to that. Unfortunately, our staff is limited. We are not the subject matter experts, so any, you know, what Darvin had mentioned is that there are folks who can help you directly online, and he will show that information shortly. Is there a cross-reference from NICS to
UNSPSC codes. There is a way for you to, I don't know if you could enter in the NICS code to transfer to UNSPSC codes, but there is something that you could visit on our website to help you identify those. And again, remember, like I said, we could look through competitors' codes that you can use and just copy and paste on your profile.
And those are the questions for now.
All right, thank you. All right, so let's get a little more familiar with navigating through Cali Procure, right? Where can you find your contract opportunities? Well, the best way to do that is to go through California State Contracts Register, CSCR. So again, here is the landing page, right? Someone asked earlier, get certified. You'll see this is how it looks, and it's in bold, get certified. But in this case, for finding opportunities, you go back to logging in. And then from here, you'll see right from the get California State Contracts Register. Click on that. Then it's going to move you to this slide where you could do an event search. Event is referring to the solicitation, right? And then click on advanced criteria, and it'll take you to this page. This is where the UNSPSC codes can be entered. This is where you can identify the service areas where the contracts are going to be needed, and if there's any type of contractor license type that you're going to need for these specific solicitations. And then this next slide, I just wanted to give you an idea of what you'll see. So on the left, event ID, that is the solicitation number. Event name, what they're looking for, the department that is issuing this contract, when that bid ends, and what the status is. All right. After that, you would click on. You would see this this page that will give you more details. And on this detail, you'll see the contact information. so you would know who you would need to reach out to. I mentioned earlier that you could post vendor ads. You could post your ads here. The type of UNSPSC codes that's being used, any type of contractor license type that I mentioned, and service area. That's how you would identify that information when you find the contract opportunities that you're looking for. In this example is remove and construct concrete bridge, concrete slab, bridge, rail, things of that nature. And this is the page for it. Any questions on finding the contract opportunities? And if we don't have the questions now, that's okay. You know, I'll be around to answer more questions at the end. I just wanted to give you an overview of how to navigate through the CaliProcure system, and it's going to take some practice and some time.
Yeah, there's no questions on the chat box.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to one of the topics I want to discuss again, and it is in regards to research past purchases. So I stress this the most, even before you make a decision to get registered and certified, right? Because you want to see if state certification is right for you. So there is a way for you to identify the type of services and products the state buys, right? And the way for you to do a search is to go to what we refer to as skippers, SCPRS. And here is the database of state contracting purchases. It also includes state and non-state dollars. This is public facing, meaning it's open to the public, and you can use it to conduct your market research, right? You can see who your competitors are. You can see who the primes are, who you might need to contact if you want to subcontract for a company. You can see what the price of that contract was. So when it's time for you to bid, you have an idea of what makes business sense for you. I'm going to walk you through that, right? To find the skippers, back to the landing page, and then you see this arrow right here. Boom, it says find public procurement information. This is where you can access skippers. And once you get there, it's going to take you to this slide. And then these are more resources for you, but the one we're referring to, skippers, click on that. And then you will get this spreadsheet. And in this, you could narrow it down even, and it'll tell you the department name, the procurement document information, the title of the contract, when it started, when it ended. So those information is going to be essential because it gives you an idea of how much that contract was bid for. It also gives you the supplier information of who won that contract, right? And then remember when I said you could copy the keywords and UNSPSC codes from a company? Well, if it relates to you, you could look them up on the system, and then it'll give you all their UNSPSC codes and all their keywords also. Here too, you want to see what the industry is. You want to see where the ballpark is as far as bidding is concerned. So it allows you to be more strategic on your approach, and you're not just giving random numbers to try to win a bid. You know, you want it to make business sense for you. So you want to see how you can actually win, and the type of procurement method that was used, right? That's going to be important for you to understand also. So that's just a quick snapshot of researching for skippers. We also have other tools that dives even deeper in how to market your business. So I'll show you how to find information and resources from Cali Procure to help you be successful in state contracting. Any questions about skippers?
There's none in the chat.
Okay, thanks, Olivia. We're going to move on to the topic of advocates. So earlier, I mentioned to you that, it's important for you to create a rapport, a relationship with the potential advocates and buyers. And each department that procures at least $100,000 per year must have a small business advocate, a small business or DVBE advocate. So we have state employees that take on this task. I'm an advocate per se, not in the procurement portion, but for the program itself. We have a separate advocate that can help you identify opportunities with the state and give you more information. And we have it listed on our spreadsheet, and I'll show you how to find them. So what are advocates, right? They're here to help small businesses and DVBEs like yourself to pursue contract opportunities within the department that they work for. They work closely with buyers, so they're kind of like that middle person for departments and for the small businesses in state procurement. In the last year, departments are required to seek out new businesses for contract opportunities. So that's a key part of what advocates do. What that means is that they're being asked to not keep using the same small businesses, especially if you're a new small business and they keep using the same small business to hit their participation goal. It makes it a little difficult, right? So your job as a new business, a new certified business that's looking for work with the state, is to knock them off. Why they need to consider you, and that's their job. Part of their job is to meet those program requirements. All right, so I'm going to show you exactly where to find them. Back to the landing page. I know you're getting sick of this slide, but I want you to be familiar on how to navigate through it. So once you get there, you go to Find Training and Resources. It takes us right back to this page. And then right below where it says Research and Marketing, you're going to click Contact a Small Business and DVB Advocate. So from here, once you click that, it's going to take you to the DGS website. And that our website looks something like this. Once you're on our website, you can download the advocate directory. We're working towards improving this directory to make it more efficient and user-friendly. But for now, it's a spreadsheet that gives you a list of the different departments and the advocates and their address and their managers. So I want to mention that, as I mentioned, that any department that spends at least $100,000 or higher has to have an advocate. So note that some of these departments may have advocates that have different jobs. For me, I'm going to be more resourceful because this is my main job, right? This is my main position. I'm here to serve you as an advocate to help you win some state contracts. So what I'm trying to say is that I want you to be patient and understand that if the person that you contact is not responding, chances are they might not be the same advocate anymore, and you might have to reach out to the manager instead, okay? Or if that's still not the case and you're not getting any response, reach out to our team with OSDS, and we could find you the right contact. We've kind of broken this down for you also. So you see where the yellow highlights are, and pointed that arrow out for you. These are the departments that have a small business and DVBE first policy. What that means is that they are requiring their buyers to work with small businesses and DVBEs first. So if they can't find that, they have to sign out a form saying, hey, there's just not any in our pool to do this contract. So we have to reassess that that requirement. So I would reach out to those departments that have first policies first. I mean, all the departments are required to work with small businesses, but knowing that they have a first policy allows you to know that this is their priority. I also wanted to mention, if you're in the construction business, we made it a little easier for you too. We've created these X marks that identifies the type of departments that do construction work. So I'll give you an example: high-speed rail, right? Highway patrol, Public Utilities Commission. Oh, I'm sorry, not public utilities, but prison industry authority. And the list goes on with like all the different state departments, because they are part of the state also. All right, any questions about advocates?
There's no questions in the chat.
Okay, no problem. We're running a little close in time. I want to open it up to any other questions in the end. I wanted to mention another opportunity that's aside from Cali Procure, right? And this is what we refer to as the SBDVB Emergency Registry. This is a dedicated portal for California certified businesses to register your business as a supplier of emergency goods and services. So unlike Cali Procure, this portal will only include businesses that provide goods and services from predetermined emergency categories. So state departments and buyers can access and search this pool for businesses like yourselves. So if you are a business, a small business or DVBE business who's currently ready and able to support the state of California in an emergency, I would encourage you to register your business on here. Emergency contracting requires fast turnaround, on the clock turnaround time. And so if you register, you need to be capable of immediately providing the goods and services that you've listed. And these are some of the categories, and I want to say there's more, and you could possibly be that business that could identify a different category that maybe was not mentioned, and you could enter it yourself. So to get more information on that, and to get registered, you got to be certified already. You need to select your category and make sure all your contact information is current, again, because it's an emergency, right? They need to get to the right person at the right time, and we need you to be responsive. To give you more information on that, sell to the state, top bottom left where the arrow's pointed, and then this is where it'll take you. SBDVB Emergency Contracting. I'll give you the registry and give you more information on that. All right. Want to move towards commercially useful function. This topic is related to all small businesses and DVBEs that are bidding and participating in a contract. Listed SBs and DVBEs, as well as to the SBDVBE substitute listed in the SBDVBE during the contract term. This is for the procurement. This is important regardless of the type of procurement approach or the payment method. The whole purpose of this is for your business to comply, is to make sure that you are the business that you said was going to do the work. So your business does not perform a commercially useful function known as CUF if you're an extra participant in a transaction or contract or project through which funds are passed in order to obtain the appearance as an SBDB participant. And if you're not being used to perform the work as stipulated in the bid, or if you're no longer used to provide goods and service listed in the initial bid response. So in essence, this is to protect the integrity of the program, right? Because believe it or not, as you probably know, some people take advantage of this program and use small businesses like yourself to gain an edge on business on bidding practices. So they just want to make sure that you are performing the work that you stated. So just because you're certified does not mean that you're a commercially useful function. There's going to be a process that you need to be familiar with, and this will become more familiar to you once you bid and you won a contract, and you need to perform a commercially useful function. We'll have more information for you on that later. I also wanted to share resources because someone asked earlier, like, hey, can you help us getting registered, getting certified? There are other entities that are out there to provide these type of services. So if you're not familiar with the Small Business Development Center, these are for new businesses that are looking for consultation, for planning and marketing, and maybe access to capital. That's something that's going to be really important for you to do business with the state of California. So if you're already an established business, right, there is the Apex Accelerators, formerly known as PTAC. These are for government contracting. So they're there to help you walk through the process of what you're going to need to win these bids. There's only so much an advocate or like a state employee like myself can do, because I can't teach you what to bid, right? Like specific amounts. I could show you what others have done, but we can't take preference. So it's important for you to understand who the other resources you have, because you're going to need to create a team for yourself to compete for these contracts. You've teamed up with LA Latino Chamber, you've teamed up with state employees from OSDS, advocates like myself. Now you need these guys to help you to get to that next level. There's also SCORE there for newer businesses where you need business mentorship. And if you want contact to this, please reach out to me. Or if Olivia has some info on that, she can share that with you also. So in review, I know we talked about a lot, and I talked to you about introduction of how this SBDB program is for, why you want to get certified, your eligibility, how to navigate Cali Procure, the other option for emergency registry as another opportunity, and we touched on commercially useful function. The best way for you to get more information with us is to stay updated on LinkedIn. We're going to show you all the events also on here. Aside from what Olivia is able to share with you, these are the ones that we do events with other chambers, other nonprofit organizations, and other workshops that we might be providing virtually or in person. And earlier, I told you that you can get one-on-one consultation. This is where we could go over all the information I discussed in further detail, how to introduce yourself to advocates, Cali Procure registration and certification information, just to make sure you have all the paperwork you need and information you need. how to update your Cali Procure profile, because you have a way to enter your profile info when you first register, just to get a feel, and then you have the certified profile. That's the ones that the buyers are going to see that you've inputted. And we could also show you how to find contract opportunities. So you could click on this QR code and set up an appointment. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. As I promised, I have my information here for you. You can reach me at darvin.manuel@dgs.ca.gov. I'm going to share this PowerPoint presentation with Olivia. And if you guys want to look over everything we discussed today, you're more than welcome to receive more information, and we could get in contact with you.
Well, thank you, Darwin, for the wonderful education on the services that DGS does for all small businesses throughout the state. Now, there was one quick question. Can you self-certify as a small business? I've never heard of someone
Self-certify.
self-certifying.
Can you expand on self-certification? I mean, yeah, the way I understand it, can you do it yourself? Is that what you meant, or am I misunderstanding that question?
That's how I understand it. I know that, in order to be certified, you'd have to go through an entity such as your own, especially for doing business with the state, as well as other entities. So if you're doing business with Metro, you need to be certified by their requirements. It's a form of verifying that you are saying who you are, doing the business that you say you're doing. So I've never seen in my business life what self-certifying means. Let's see, can you put the link? Let me see. Do we need, okay, here it is. Do we need some special certificate, or do we just need to be small?
Yeah, great question. I mean, all you have to do is meet those requirements, as I mentioned, for small business and or DVBE, depending on the type of business you are. Go to caliprocure.ca.gov, and then they'll share with you the information that you need to be eligible. And you can talk to one of us also to make sure you fit that those requirements.
Okay, so yes, we did answer that. And then, is there a procedure to be tax exempt when selling to the government?
Like as a nonprofit organization?
Let me see. They didn't add more to it. So, I know nonprofits are exempt from certain entities, but I don't know if a business can be exempt, because you need to be serving a greater good other than just a business, correct?
Yeah, feel free to send me an email on that. I don't know the what the ask is, so if we could communicate that way, I could
That'd be
get you a
great.
better
Sal, if you
answer.
can get in touch with Darvin, that would be great, and he'd be able to help you out. His email is on the screen, darvin.manuel@dgs.ca.gov. Someone else, can you send the slides? Yes, we'll be sending those to the individuals who attended today's webinar. I don't have anything else at the moment, but I do have a quick question. I wrote down some notes. So how does one register for certification? In person, in line? I guess it would, is there a charge for it? I just want to make sure that our business owners understand that, the different ways to apply for certification with DGS.
Yeah, so there's no cost, right? And if anyone tries to charge you for it, be careful, because this is a state program. As far as certification, you can just certify right from the start, from our website, and then you could get in contact with a certification officer to walk you through it. There are instances where there are live certifications and events that might that might offer that. If you're in the Sacramento area, you could just stop by at the office and we could walk you through it. You'd still have to bring some documents for you to upload,
Mhm.
but everything can be done from your home. You don't need to meet in person to do so.
Yeah,
Um, it also depends on the complication of your business where they might have to, like I said earlier, right? There are going to be people that are going to try to take advantage of this program. And then we just want to make sure that you meet those criteria. So we're going to need information um, to actually validate that you are a small business.
yeah. And I know we've done training here at the chamber for certification in the past, and some of the requirements will vary based on you being a sole proprietor, an LLC, or corporation. So there's going to be different document requirements for each of the different entities. So make sure that when you do connect with someone at DGS that you ask what those documents are to help make the process go a lot smoother and efficiently. Now, you also mentioned advocates to help small businesses get opportunities. And again, those are at no cost. They would simply contact your office and what? They would.
Yeah, yeah. So the advocates are basically your middle person for that specific department, right? Or the buyer themselves. So you want to establish that relationship, asking maybe there's some certain questions that you want to know before you bid, or any upcoming solicitations that they might have.
Mhm.
Um, you just identify your business. We didn't go over this, but having maybe a capability statement is kind of like your resume as an individual. But if you're trying to apply for a job, you have a resume, right? This capability statement would be something that you have to identify your business to state agencies. So just letting them know, hey, this is who I am, this is what we do, this is how we can help you. The advocate can help answer those questions for you.
And then one last important, well, it's not a question, but just kind of a statement. Can you share
Sure.
the reason why it's important for everyone to be part of the supplier diversity? Because we know that the state requires that certain percentage of business go to X groups, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And it could be Latino, it could be Black, it could be Asian, Island Pacificer, et cetera. But it's really important to note down uh, where you're at, only because the state does need to hold accountable just the state themselves, but also how is the procurement and contracts going down to our different businesses and entities. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? And
Yeah. So the real importance is that as long as we've had this program, it's still not like it's still surprising how many small businesses are not aware of the program, right? So we really want to know who you are, where you're at, and that way we could help support the community more,
Mhm.
and identify areas where we need to do more outreach to say, hey, um, these are the areas where we're not supporting as far as winning contracts are for. So it's a data basis that we're collecting right now to make the program even better for the different ethnic groups out there.
Yeah,
Um,
and that also counts to the type of help that you can get. So the more we know that, for example, we're the Latino chamber, so that our
mhm,
businesses are in tune to what are the needs are in the community, they'd be, DGS would be able to help our community a lot more and other communities as well. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so on that note, Darwin, I want to thank you. I did go through the questions and we don't have any more, but we want to thank Darwin and the team at DGS for their support of the community and letting us know the different opportunities available, the importance of certification, and at the end of the day, how we help scale our businesses. It's important that we all are part of that number where we could get contracts and provide economic stability for our communities and families. So on that note, on behalf of the LA Latino Chamber, our board of directors and members, I'd like to thank you for spending your morning with us.